so product selection is my favourite thing, and normally sort of the side of the fence we're sitting on creating our own brands, we get to like do research on untapped opportunities on Amazon and then create the brand to fill the demand. But when we're working with other companies, we have to go through this sort of mixture of analysis and then competitor research, and then there's a bit of an art to it all as well, working out how well this New Zealand brand is going to stack up on Amazon and whether it's going to be competitive, and we look at pricing, and we look at the keywords that are going to be relevant and that customers are searching for, so we can get an idea of the volume of searches on those keywords, what else comes up, how would we go against them. And then we might have additional features or benefits where it might be New Zealand grown or a higher UMF factor, or it's organic, or some other nice point of difference. But this is where sort of our experience doing hundreds and hundreds of products has given us a good feel for like what works in different categories. So American consumers are a little bit different. They've got sort of slightly different taste. As you know, the West Coast's just health mad and pretty cashed up. The middle of America doesn't shop for our stuff quite so much. But there's these kind of factors that have worked well for a lot of our products. So I've never found it hard to sell the best product in its category. Like when I've launched a tea or the Dryballs or any of those other brands I've done the baby stuff, I've always gone for the sort of the top end pricing. So my main competitor for those Dryballs did a 6-pack for $9.99, and I did a 4-pack which I put into a gift bag which cost me 35 cents, and it had nice screen printing and logo, and it was all beautifully packaged. I sold those for $28.99 over the fourth quarter. So just had a little spike. You know, I didn't hold that price the whole time, but there's people there willing to pay top price when it's beautifully presented, or if it's like kind of a gift type product, if it suits baby registries, anything organic, or got really kind of, you've got to be really careful with the health claims language. Like that would be part of doing the research on the product, making sure you're not making claims that the FDA will want to have facts and figures on. So anything that kind of has that X factor or feel good factor about it when people buy it, especially for gifts. Consumables are good products because you might be paying advertising costs to get the first sale, but then they either get enrolled with that subscribe and save product, or they just like the products, so they come back for more. But it's always great if they're going to need to buy more products from you. So as Hamish said, we've both had not so many fun times dealing with Chinese competitors or Chinese suppliers. So really like unique points of difference with the products. So because there's so many quite sophisticated people selling on Amazon, if you're doing well, there'll be people seeing if they could just reverse engineer what you're doing, because they can see how many units a day, they can see your Amazon fees, they can see your price, and you know, within a few clicks, if you're easy to copy, there'll be somebody having a go. I quite like products that have got a big barrier to entry, so something where like the minimum order quantity is a container load, or you've got to actually do a bit of work sourcing teas from all around the world to come out with the only range of the classic and the black and the green and the health and the functional teas. So like that was quite a bit of work, but when I launched them I had 88 new teas on day one and had this fully complete brand that, you know, was a really attractive acquisition for another company. The pricing's another thing to get right as well. So as Hamish went through with the numbers before, just those flat fees around Amazon shipping and the picking, packing and handling piece, and then it's minimum fulfillment fee. If you're much under sort of low teens, the numbers just are pretty hard to make it add up, even if it is a consumable. So around $15 or more US is good, otherwise it gets hard. And then at the other end of the scale, if it's, you know, a product that costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars, people are a bit nervous to buy that sight unseen, or they want to test it out first, or they just want to know a bit more about who they're buying it from. So that sweet spot's kind of high teens through to sort of $50, $60, and a bit of leeway either side, obviously depending on the competition and your margins and all those things. And then a few of the categories we don't like very much. With all other things being equal, there's always, you know, exceptions for a really outstanding brand with a great story or got some great PR going on or something else happening to support it. But just like a bog standard supplement would be hard work if you didn't have something pretty unique about how you source it or the story behind it. But often in New Zealand we do have a great story about the supplements that we produce here. As we said earlier, the skincare one's a bit nasty. Just there's a lot of people with a nice packaged organic natural skincare range. You know, there's just millions of them. They're really hard to break through with. Bulky can be hard work with the numbers. Like if you've got to commit to sea shipping from that very first shipment, it's a bit of an undertaking, but still the margins will be there, and it's often harder for people to compete with you if, you know, you do have to go through a bit of extra work to get the stuff in stock. And any kind of like really cheap commodity products, like there's things like an example. Yeah, cat litter. Something like coconut oil, there's just so many of them, it's just a massive bun fight on price there. So even if you've got like beautifully packaged organic coconut oil, there's not really any fat left in that for anyone to enjoy. That's down to people selling it at cost plus fees.
If you have a look at our website, sellglobal.co.nz, we've got a PDF there. It's a 16 success criteria. So just go to sellglobal.co.nz, and it's really obvious when you get there, just to see the criteria and kind of rate your products on that, and to see if it is where the probability is at. There's no guarantees, but it's just really are the odds stacked more in your favour or not. Yeah.
So, some of the companies we've helped have been doing really well in the States. So this is another one of these nice examples where the New Zealand retail price is way lower than the US Amazon price. And they're now doing sea shipping, and they've got this beautiful beeswax-based crayon that's beautiful for children's gifts. Lovely New Zealand story, beautifully packaged, all very eco-friendly. And American consumers love this product. So that was a really good move for them, setting up an Amazon in the States, and they're now doing UK and Europe as well. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
Well, I think the New Zealand story, right? If that's the point of difference is, look, my product's from New Zealand. That doesn't really cut it. Like at the end of the day, you've got to have a product that is going to be highly valued and really liked. And it's interesting, like with the Fix and Fog guys, that like they don't really push the New Zealand angle, but it's really like the brand and the product needs to stand alone on itself. And it, like in classic, I've got an American girl who works for me because we're like virtual team, and I was talking to her about a product, and it was called Kiwi Mud, and she's like as in the kiwi fruit, you know, as in the fruit, you know, they don't know kiwi, or a lot of them don't even know where New Zealand is, you know. So I wouldn't be like banking on that. We can sometimes overestimate the importance of that. So the product and the brand needs to stand alone on its own.
And they do love American made. Like at my New Zealand dryable, I had a competitor that was made in the States, and that was really hard. So I didn't really make a big thing about the fact that mine were made in Nepal, because these other people were doing really well with their made in America thing. So
yeah, but at the same time, you know, it's one of those things you get, like Manuka honey, like New Zealand, absolutely, you want to have it in there because people buying Manuka know that New Zealand has the best Manuka honey. Yeah. Although it's all getting interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't. But, yeah. Oh, I'm so interested in this topic. Like, I just think Amazon is so great for that fast kickoff in sales, and like really great margins, really, really low overheads. Like as a little business model, it's super neat. And then other businesses that are kind of a bit more traditional find those little online bubbles with slightly higher quality products and an online consumer base of millennials, maybe someone they don't sell to. Like that becomes a really attractive acquisition for them. But Amazon has a policy that you're not allowed to transfer ownership of accounts. So the business I sold on Friday was 2 days to find a cash buyer who we found. But I just finished 21 days of due diligence with another potential buyer in Oregon, and they bailed on day 21 of 21 because their lawyer talked them out of it at the last minute. So we had a plan that we would ship the stock out of Amazon, relabel it, ship it back in, get them ungated. They would pick up. So the reviews stick with the products. So they're kind of assets, but they're not really easily very liquid assets. But what I love is just, you know, lifestyle side of things. Like we've moved down to Wanaka and have a fantastic lifestyle, and there's like good cash flow, good assets being built, and like the life cycle of a good brand with a good range that's well diversified. Like you wouldn't want to be relying on one or two brands or one or two products if this was your main business. If you're an existing brands company, you know, with your own brand and products, then it's a great thing to bolt onto your other channels, and it would support them. Certainly shouldn't cannibalize them in any way.
No.
But it's just super lightweight. Like I've got a Kiwi on a Zoe doing my tech stuff. I've got an ex-Deloitte guy who's an accountant in Nelson doing all the bookkeeping and accounts, pay tax here, don't have any US companies. Like it's really simple. So my strategy has been a mix of creating brands to sell, cash flow of products I can see good margins on, and then selling some services as well. And those services are to companies and individuals.
And Sophie gets bored easily.
Yeah. So I got back, I just talked to an e-commerce conference in LA this last weekend, just being got back yesterday. And like I see all these guys doing like Facebook ads to Shopify websites, and there's somebody there asking me for help. He's run out of car cleaning cloths. He's sold 1.4 million of them in 2 weeks of trading. He started it 2 weeks ago. So like they get these booms, but then they're really gone overnight. At least on Amazon, you've got reviews and you've got that ranking, and Amazon's a stable platform, whereas a lot of the other e-commerce stuff is just a bit flightier. And you've got to be really on it. Those Facebook ads could be profitable, and they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they just need to, flip a little bit and run the wrong way for a few hours, and you've lost a lot. Like that makes me a bit nervous. But Amazon feels like it's real physical products that real humans are buying. There's something a bit more substantial there.